Well, good afternoon. Tim here in beautiful Jamestown, California, just northwest of Tuolumne, California. Motherlode country, gold country. I'm here in Jamestown. It's a balmy 91 degrees here in the afternoon. But as you might be able to see, I am at Railtown 1897. And it's here that I will very shortly be boarding a 45-minute excursion train around Gold Country, around Jamestown and the surrounding communities. And shortly after that, we're going to go on a quick tour of this amazing state park. So join me. Here, in fact, is the actual train I'll be riding. Only tickets available for me today was coach, but I'm pretty excited to be taking a rail tour in a new area. So I will be in this car. No steam trains today, just diesel. The most famous star steam train here is actually under a 1472 inspection. More on that later. But in about a half an hour, we'll be boarding and taking a tour of Gold Country. And there's the engine that will be pulling us. Nice little switcher diesel. And yes, I will be recording the entire trip for your enjoyment if you still want to see. We'll throw that on a separate YouTube video and I'll link it in the comments, or the description rather. Alright, we got about 20 minutes before we board our 45-minute excursion train around Gold Country. As you can see, it's a beautiful park area. Great place to take a picnic. Not a very large park, but still filled with a bunch of railroad memorabilia and actual cars and engines. And check this out, an old-fashioned gas pump. And this building is the world-famous Roundhouse that they have here, where they store a lot of the equipment. On the other side is the actual turntable, and we'll get to that once we get around the building here. But check this out, this little tourist rail car. This is Hetch Hetchy Railroad number 19. And if any of this equipment looks familiar, it's probably because you may have seen some of this in Back to the Future Part 3. That is in fact where the steam train is at, just over there. So let's go take a look. Now, Railtown 1897 is famous for its Sierra No. 2 steam engine, which has been in a ton of movies. The most famous one, of course, is Back to the Future Part 3. And that is right behind me. You guys ready to see that engine? Check it out. Nope, that's not it. That's 34. Huh, where is it? It's in fact right here, right in front of you. This is it, Sierra No. 3. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking like The Godfather. You know, what have they done to my poor boy? This is undergoing, believe me, they've taken well care of this thing. In fact, that's why it's taken apart. This is undergoing what's called a 1472 service day inspection. It's mandated by federal law under Federal Railroad Administration. Because when you think about it, steam trains are extremely high pressure steam boilers that if not well taken care of, are essentially bombs that can explode. So federal mandate for, you know, safety to the public that rides heritage railroads like Sierra number 2 mandates that they periodically undergo what's called a 1472 inspection. So that essentially means that 1,472 days is the maximum, and I don't know where they came up with that number, but that's the maximum number of days that a locomotive can operate before another inspection is required. Since most steam locomotives don't operate on a limited, or I should say actually do operate on a limited basis, not full-time pulling freight or passengers every day, a time limit of 15 years is also imposed. So for steam trains like this that aren't running every single day, they can, if they don't meet the 1,472 days before 15 years is up, then they must undergo the inspection after 15 years, which is what's happening here. It's very intensive. Everything's taken apart. The boiler is completely taken apart. Boiler tubes are inspected and repaired or replaced. If you ever get your chance to come down to the Southern California Railway Museum in Paris, California, in Southern California, of course, you'll see that our steam train, Ventura County Railway number 2, is also undergoing this inspection. The same exact thing that Sierra number 3 is undergoing. So hopefully it'll be put back together by the time they conduct their back to 1885 festival, which is something they do here yearly. Because this steam train was in Back to the Future Part 3, and that's what's most famously known for. They usually decorate it just like it appeared in the movie, and they have a bunch of festivals here, you know, kind of like that festival they had in the movie itself. But let's explore a little bit more of the museum. We'll come around the other side, and you'll see the other side of this engine. But this is what it looks like right now. And once it's put back together, it should be in operating condition again and pulling trains. And I think we'll have to come back up there for a ride on it. So right next to the Roundhouse is this collection of displays from Sierra number 3's movie making history. And this is all the original stuff right here. These are all different smokestacks. Just like an artist will put on makeup for their movie scene, or a uniform or costume, Sierra number 3 does the same thing. These are all the different smokestacks that have been on the train to make it look the way the director wants it to look. This one is particular interest because this is the exploding boiler when they hit the red log, Back to the Future Part 3. This is the actual smokestack. All kinds of other different things. Little House on the Prairie. What we got here? World's Greatest Lover. Dodge City smokestack from the Great Bank Robbery. And this one is for the Virginian, which was in North of the Rio Grande, a 1937 film. This is a scenic prop that was used in The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., a 1993 short TV series. And it's got all the movie making history from the beginning to current. If you fancy yourself an actor, you can hang on the back of this, which is a recreation of the caboose that is actually operating here. Now, I say it's a recreation, but this is the actual prop that was used in Back to the Future Part 3. And this was specifically used for the scene where Marty's hanging onto the back of the caboose just as they're trying to board the train to rob it. So this little part was actually on a flat car. Instead of using the actual caboose, they put it on this piece on a flat car. Not exactly sure why exactly they did that. Maybe if you know, throw that in the comments why they chose to put this on a flat car instead of using the actual caboose. But you can hang on the back and pretend like you're hanging on for dear life, just like Marty did in Back to the Future Part 3. And of course, this little history section wouldn't be complete without a movie poster. Oh, by the way, the original headlamp as well from Back to the Future Part 3. Now it's Sierra number 3, but they added 131. They added 2 1s on it to make the engine unique for its role as a Central Pacific Railroad engine. Okay, let's check out the other side of the Roundhouse, and then we got to get on the train. Now, unless I'm mistaken, and I may be, because it's been maybe a year or so since I've seen Part 3 of Back to the Future, but I believe this boxcar was part of the train consist for the rolling stock during the scenes in the movie. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But check this out. There's a roundhouse and there's an actual turntable. This roundhouse is one of the few surviving roundhouses that I know of. And it's really the only one that I've actually ever seen in person. And what's cool is it's not barred off. You can actually walk around and see everything. I'm not sure about this maintenance pit. You'd have to be on your back if you're going to be working on a train underneath this, but it needs to be a little deeper. But these are boiler tubes. And they look pretty new, or at least repaired, so these must be what's going in. Sierra number 3, which is right here. There's the other side of what we saw on the other side of the front part of Sierra number 3. I keep wanting to say 2 because that's the steam train I'm most familiar with. Ventura County number 2 down at Southern California Railway Museum. But this is Sierra number 3. Number 34 that we saw earlier, and here's the tender to Sierra number 2. The same one. Attached to Sierra number 2, which is a Shay. And of course, Sierra number 3's tender, as featured also in the movie. The vintage rolling stock they have here too is also equally amazing. I mean, just look at the history of this. Let's get a closer look at the turntable and this Shay engine, which I believe is a lumber, previously in its previous history, a lumber engine. Yep, Pickering Lumber Corporation. Now, when I first took a look at this, like in a picture, I was looking at this side of it and I was like, what the hell is going on here? It's just like a diesel with a fake, you know, fake tender and smokestack and everything. I mean, where's the drive wheels to run the actual wheels? And then it hit me. Oh yeah, it's a Shay. Baldwin Locomotive Works number 7. There's where the magic happens, right here. It's a Shay engine, so all the drive power is on one side. And apparently Shay is a patent, or was. I'm sure it's not a patent anymore. Okay, one last look at the turntable. And then we'll get on over to our train ride on Gold Country, around Gold Country, through the hills. And look at that guy over there. Sierra Railway number 1638. Those of you who've played Derail Valley probably have a love-hate relationship with that thing. It's because you're not supposed to be pulling freight with it around the country. You're supposed to be working a rail yard with it and setting up consists. Maybe doing some shunting, I don't know. Okay, time for a train ride. Join me. Here's the engine that's going to be pulling us today. Sierra Railway number 1265, a switcher diesel. Now I tried to get this car, but it was booked up already, so unfortunately I'll be riding in coach with the commoners and the peasants. But that's okay, I'm just going to have just as much fun either way. It's probably going to be a little cooler in this car, but who's complaining? This is going to be fun. I just love the history of this area, and to see it from a train is going to be equally amazing. Okay, next stop. Quarry Junction, which is where this train's going, and then back here to Jamestown.
No, they're both connected. This is the train part.
Howdy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good.
Top of the stairs, you're going to the right.
Thank you.
You guys win today. All right, that's what I like to hear. Top of the
That way, okay?
Hello. Hello. To the right. Thank you, sir.
Hello. You have a ticket? All right. Hang on to that, okay?
Hello. Thank you. Yes. Please. Thank you. Whew. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for riding with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, train ride completed. Check the description for the full ride. I was able to place the GoPro on the very back of the train, and you get to see the full ride. So check down in the description if you want to see that. It's about a 20-25 minute video. One last car we're going to check out here before we leave. Railtown 1897 is Sierra Railway Caboose number 7. And if this looks familiar, just like a lot of other things here, whether it's the scenery in this area of beautiful Jamestown, California, gold country, or whether it's the train cars, this was also in Back to the Future Part 3. This is the caboose at the end of the train that they ride the horses up to, climb on, and basically commit a science experiment on the train when they take it over, so to speak. But yeah, if you have 20 or 25 minutes or so, definitely check out that video of the train ride. It's really unique. You get to see it going all the way out and then back up all the way back. So here is Railtown, 1897. Pretty small park by California State Park standards. Really, you could do this all in 2 or 3 hours. It's a great stopover if you're going to Yosemite or somewhere else up here in the hill country. But highly recommend, if not for just the history and the beautiful, you know, area, then just the fun little train ride to add to your vacation or your road trip if you're coming up this way. Well, I'm off on another adventure. I'm headed up to just north, actually just east of Tuolumne. We're gonna go explore some, and by we I mean me. We're gonna go explore some abandoned railway tracks that was once part of a timber railway company. It's one of the few examples that are left in the whole state, so that's gonna be fun. I'll share that video with you guys too as well. But this was Railtown, 1897, here in Jamestown, California.